Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This match is Savior versus Hyuk. Fourth match of SKT versus CJ Entus. SKT with a 2-1 lead. However, out of this match, I expect Hyuk to lose in a spectacular fashion one way or another. 9 o'clock position in purple. 6 o'clock position we have... never mind. 9 o'clock position we have Hyuk in yellow. 6 o'clock position we have Savior in red. Because the color switch, there's Hyuk himself right there. A favorite among the fans for being comedic relief. He tends to win games he shouldn't out of pure blind luck, and he tends to lose games he shouldn't by who knows what that is. Because, man, he'll just get big leads and completely squander them, and it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable sometimes. This is on Outsider, which tends to be a little bit more of an entertaining PvT map, I think. I haven't seen a ZVZ on it. We'll see how it turns out. Both players looks like they're just... Well, I can't really tell what the build is up to this stage, so I'll be quiet in that regard. But yeah, Outsider, it is possible to do a 12 hatch, I would think, and try to get lucky off the scout, so we could see that from Hyuk. Savior on the opposite side, he hasn't been destroying everybody in 2009 just yet, but I think he's still playing a little bit better than last year. He's been losing to at least formidable opponents here and there, and most of the time when he's playing opponents he should beat, he has been winning those games. Hyuk going gas first rather than, so I think he's doing an overpool, not canceling that gas, so he is in fact going to go for a little bit faster gas than Savior. The hand cam view for some reason, not quite sure why. So yeah, Savior looks like he's putting down that spawning pool, putting down the gas simultaneously, and he went overpool as well. There's that Overlord wandering out of Hyuk base. So Hyuk will have a lot more gas earlier, but Savior, if he decides to produce a couple Zerglings, will have the Zerglings. If he decided to do speed, which I can't see him doing simply because this is a ramped map, and so speed doesn't suit you as well as it would on other maps. I guess it's still possible, but if he did do that, he would have a window of opportunity to try to run up, try to get a couple of drone kills. I don't think he's going to do that, though, simply because, again, the ramp, Hyuk can, if he spots it, he can just get a couple additional Zerglings of his own out and kind of counter them fairly easily, and again, you just want to save time to get that Spire up. You want to spend the gas towards the lair, I would say, and the Spire on this map, and it ends up being just pure muta-on-muta battle is where I would think this would turn out. Hyuk might have a small advantage in that. Savior's going to have a faster layer off his build because Hyuk's still waiting for that spawning pool, but Hyuk might end up with an additional Mutalisk or two simply because he is going to have that much additional gas down the line, and just little differences in gas like that can make all the difference in the world. I think those 3 drones might be Zerglings here. I'm sorry, those 3 eggs might be Zerglings here. So there's the first 2 pair of Zerglings, the first pair of Zerglings moving out. There's the second pair of Zerglings wandering out in the field as well. I think we're going to see another 3 pushing out in just a moment. So I don't think Hyuk is going to be, and Hyuk actually producing a couple of Zerglings of his own. Savior a little bit spread out with his, so he's going to actually have to hold up and wait, which is going to give Hyuk a nice opportunity to either squirt by or counterattack, or maybe even get a free hit on a single Zergling, which is definitely going to make Savior wait up. 2 more Zerglings produced. Now let's see if Hyuk makes the critical error of overproducing Zerglings here, which is exactly what Savior wants him to do. He wants to run up, put some pressure, he's right outside the door, try to sneak them by, maybe try to kill a drone, maybe pick off a single Zergling here and there, and Savior, again, taking another hit. So Hyuk's actually managed to get 3 free hits off nothing there. Spire now being placed by Savior. It looks like a second hatchery actually for Hyuk, so Hyuk is going to try to exploit that additional gas here, but he's going to be significantly later on that Spire, but I think with the distance he'll be okay. He just needs to, he needs to place it somewhere near in time. It looks like he did in fact do that. Savior now backing off with his Zerglings. This is the thing, Savior completely in the dark. Hyuk is getting that spot out, but Savior still can't see what's going on in the base. I'm not sure where that drone was going, maybe thinking about taking the secondary. Savior just now coming out in the base. He's going to see that second hatchery being planted, so he's probably going to assume that there's a little bit of a gas advantage for Hyuk, and he's also going to get a good look at that Spire. Now he's starting to move out with those Zerglings. He knows he wants to put as much pressure on, try to force Hyuk to produce Zerglings rather than produce Mutalisk, try to make him utilize it basically in a different direction, less advantageous direction with his larva. Just pressing out in the field, Hyuk is actually going to move out to greet him with, I think he's got a few more Zerglings here. I think he might have 2 more Zerglings here just on an eye count. Not quite sure how accurate that is. 2 Zerglings, looks like 1 Zergling actually going to back up and try to provide this. And Savior now actually going to create a barrier around his base. So Hyuk actually, this is the advantage he has. So, and this might turn out to be bad. It looks like he is going to have that second hatchery much faster than Savior's additional hatchery, and he's also going to have additional Mulisks to work with, a little bit of additional gas, losing a single Zergling there. So I think that was the difference here, and I don't think he's going to press that further. A couple Mulisks now being generated. Hyuk he's got to back off of those Zerglings right now though, because those Mulisks, they could either, I think a good option for Savior Savior might just be run up, take those Zerglings out. Hyuk not going to back off with them, fortunately here. But yeah, if he wandered up and killed those Zerglings, oh, Savior getting a little bit greedy there, running out in the field with decent positioning. I don't think he quite had the fold he wanted to. Now the Mutalisks actually running up, and Hyuk, yeah, engaging a little bit too much. He's going to end up losing those Zerglings as a result, and now Savior has a much larger ground force with a pretty decently sized air force to try to work with that as well, and it looks like Hyuk producing 2 Scourge along with the Mutalisks, so he's going to have a little bit larger air force. So let's see if he can utilize that with some fancy micro. If he can use those, and he's actually disguising them fairly well in the Mutalisk grouping. Savior thinking about running after that Overlord, but it looks like he's going to back off. But now Savior with the larger ground force, if he presses forward, uses those Mutalisks and Zerglings in a nice combination, he could end up taking out Hyuk fairly quickly here. It looks like he's producing some Scourge of his own, waiting for some additional Mutalisks to be produced. But Hyuk will have a 1 or 2 Mutalisk advantage. But Savior with the additional Zerglings on the ground, if he plays it right, he'll end up in a great position here, actually. He could run up, maybe do some damage. Instead of being aggressive, though, he's kind of backing off here and not really pressing anything forward. Both players in the dark at this stage. And I think, well, Hyuk, I think he might have run a Zergling up to kind of spot things out. And Hyuk just building his army up, and Savior doing the same. And I think the advantage is going to go to whoever moves out. And I think that Zergling just kind of wandering out. The problem is just kind of getting caught out of position, and also having Overlords that are kind of out in the field that just get hunted down without much avail. Basically can't defend them, things like that. A couple Zerglings just posted out, providing a little bit of scouting information. Not much else going on. Both players just massing their own Mutalisk army. Neither player going for an additional expansion. Neither player really varying the build, just pumping Mutalisks at this stage. Still just 2 Scourge, single Zergling getting cracked down there. But yeah, I still think that handful of Zerglings could be the difference here for Savior. And it looks like actually some additional Scourge being produced. An Overlord there now popping out for Savior. Now Savior on the move, but critically he's leaving his Zerglings at home. Curious, and that's not what I expected from Savior. I expected him to join in with those Zerglings to bring them up at home base. And it looks like some of those Mutalisks getting spotted off by that single Zergling. Now Savior going to back off, producing a couple more Zerglings to kind of supplement that army. I'm not sure if he realizes he has an advantage, but now he doesn't. Hyuk actually producing a couple more Zerglings, going to take a secondary, which could be a critical mistake. I don't know that he can really hold this. He didn't have that much of a gas advantage where he would be able to really defend this. Let's see what Savior decides to do. Maybe he can press up against this, try to take that hatchery down, end up with a big lead. But and I'm not sure he's going to see this coming now. But there is a lower reinforcement point. A single Zergling wandering up that hatchery, taking a couple hits. The Mutalisks kind of wandering around. They're going to try to pick off a couple Zerglings here and there, being successful in doing so, but no additional